Hi everyone, welcome to class. I'm Helen. If you're new here, thank you for tuning in. If you're returning, it's great to see you again. I truly appreciate everybody that practices with me. Today will be a simple yoga class to help reduce tension and stress all over in our body. If you usually use blocks, you might need them, so grab them. Otherwise, we will start in a child's pose. Bringing the knees as wide as the mat, big toes touch, and bring the seat down to the heels. Allow the belly to drape between the thighs. And you can bring the arms in front, maybe stacking the fists, creating this tower to gently rest your forehead. Start to slow the breath and melt the body into the earth, feeling that support from those parts of the body that are in contact with your mat, your floor, the earth, the tops of the feet, the fronts of the ankles, the shins, the elbows, maybe the forearms, maybe the sides of the fist. Using this time to melt and let go, and enjoying this time here on the mat that we spend together today. Take another few deep breaths. Imagining as you breathe in, you're inhaling peace. And as you exhale, you're exhaling any stress. Inhale, calm. Exhale any anxiety. Inhale, relaxation. And exhale any overwhelm. Take a long breath in. An audible exhale through the mouth. Gently from here, we will make our way up to hands and knees. Bringing the hands directly underneath the shoulders. Knees are underneath the hips. The tops of the feet are relaxed to the earth. Notice how you have equal weight in the two knees and the two hands. Spine is long. Head is in line with the neck. A few rounds of cat-cow. On an inhale, belly dips, the chest lifts through the gates of the arms. As you exhale, feel the movement coming from the lower spine as you're rounding and bringing the head down, pushing away from the earth with the hands. Inhale, reversing the movement, feeling the articulation of the spine as you move in time with the breath. Exhaling and rounding. Inhaling and lifting. A couple more mindful movements. Waking up the spine, getting to know how it feels today. Every day is different in our bodies. Some days you can feel like a piece of rubber. And other days you can feel like the Tin Man. But that's what makes us human, right? And then return to a neutral spine. Grounding down into the right hand and the right knee and the left hand. Inhale the left leg straight behind. Imagine that you're pulling it out from the hip rather than trying to lift it up to the sky. Breathing deep, keeping both hips parallel, that left hip going down towards the ground. And then release down, extend the right leg straight back, hips are neutral, right hip facing downwards, leg straight and strong. And release down. This time left arm comes in front as if you're shaking someone's hand. Pulling out of the shoulder and then release down. Right arm lifts straight out from the joint. Long limb. And then bring it down. Left leg extends long again. Engage in the core, keeping the hips parallel, and maybe the right arm lifts for spinal balance. Pulling these opposite limbs in opposite directions on the diagonal. And then release down. Right leg straight behind, lifts up. Left arm straight ahead. Pulling out of the body with these limbs. And then release down. One more time each side. Left leg, right arm. And release down. Right leg, left arm. And release down. Wonderful. Move the hands about one handprint in front, tuck the toes, and gently lift the hips up to the sky for downward facing dog. In this position, the hands are around shoulder width, and the feet are around hip distance. Maybe gently pedal the feet, waking up the backs of the legs. Noticing how the calves are feeling, backs of the thighs. Ears are between the biceps, triceps rotated towards the back of the mat, the upper back is wide, the jaw is relaxed, equal weight in all of the base of the fingers. Maybe the finger pads are gently gripping the floor, and when it feels good, just slowly bring the heels down, start to settle. Sit bones to the sky, an elongation of the spine. Then look forward, come up onto tiptoes, and gently walk to the front of the mat. Allow the belly to drape over the thighs. You can keep the hands on the earth or cup the elbows. Come into a ragdoll. Gently swaying side to side. Starting to settle in the middle. And if it feels good in your body, maybe start to straighten the legs a little bit. Belly is tucked inside. Imagine that forearms are being pulled down to the ground. Long breaths, shaking the head a little bit and the neck. Bring the hands to the hips, engage the front spine, slight bend in the knees, and on an inhale, come all the way up to standing. Arms are released up to the sky, full body stretch. And bring the palms to the chest. Should be all nice and warm now. Move through some mindful movement just to tune in to our body and how we're feeling. On an inhale, palms lift to the sky, full body stretch. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forward over the legs. Hands come to shins. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees slightly and drape the body over the thighs. Left hand plants underneath the middle of the chest. And on an inhale, straighten the right leg, bend the left knee and release the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, come down. Other side. Bending the right knee, straightening the left leg. Left arm up to the sky for this twist. Hand comes back down, bend the knees. Then on an inhale, hands to hips. Engage the front spine. Come all the way back up. Palms to the sky. Palms to chest. Wonderful. Inhale, palms lift. Exhale, draping forward. You can bend the knees. Body comes down. Left hand underneath the chest. Bending the left knee, straightening the right. Coming into this twist. And exhale down, over to the other side. Exhale down. Plant the hands and step back to downward facing dog. Bring the feet as wide as the mat. Hands are in front of the shoulders. Ground down into the left hand. Take the right hand underneath the left and grab the outside of the left leg. Twisting, maybe looking underneath that left shoulder. Making a conscious effort to keep the hips level. And back to this wide-legged dog. Left hand reaches on the outside of the right leg. You can grab anywhere that feels good for you, looking under that right shoulder. Then back to this wide-legged dog. Bring the feet hip distance apart. Grounding down into both hands. On an inhale, right leg lifts up to the sky. As you exhale, step it up between the hands. Get it there any way you can. Come on to the fingertips in tree frog fingers. Pull this right hip back. Left hip stays neutral. Lengthen out of the waist. Breathing here. Grounding down into the front heel, engage the front body, and on an inhale, we come all the way up to a crescent pose. Arms are directly in front of us. Bring the palms to the chest, and then the left hand will come outside the right knee, and the right hand comes behind the back of the left thigh for this twist here, an easy twist. Breathing deep. Return to the midline. Palms to chest. Hands come down. We step back. Downward facing dog. Side B. Left leg to the sky. Left foot steps up between the hands. Come onto these tree frog fingers. Lengthen out of the waist, pulling the left hip back. Right hip stays neutral. Grounding into the front heel, engage in the front spine, body comes up. Palms come to the chest, rotating towards the left side, right hand on the outside of the left knee, left hand on the back of the right thigh, tall spine, rotation. Breathing deep, looking over that left shoulder. Inhale, returning back to neutral. Arms come up. Hands plant. Step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps up between the hands. Come onto these tree frog fingertips. All the way up to crescent. This time the back heel will plant. Level with the front heel. We straighten the front leg for a triangle. This is not very good filming because I've got my back to you straight away. Maybe shuffle the back foot in slightly. Lengthen out of the spine. Then tip forward over this front leg. Right arm comes out. Maybe it comes to the shin. We open this left arm up to the sky. Lengthening both sides of the waist. You can use a block here. If it's in your body, maybe you come your fingertips to the floor. Stacking the shoulders, grounding down into the big toe mound of the right foot, externally rotating that right hip. Breathing deep. You can let the head go, or you can look up at the top hand. And using this top hand, imagine that you're pulling yourself up. Bend the front knee, and we'll rotate the body into a warrior two. So this is where the back foot intersects the front heel. Shoulders are stacked over the hips, arms to a T, making sure this back hip isn't hitched up, making a conscious effort to try and keep the hips parallel to the earth. Front knee over front ankle, gazing point the middle finger of the front hand, breathing easy. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior. Come back to warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down. We step back, downward facing dog. Second side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step up between the hands. Come onto your tree frog fingers. Pull this left hip back. Engage the front spine. Come up into this high lunge. And the back heel plants. Line the heels up. We come into triangle on this side. Tall spine. Maybe shorten the stance a little bit. Reaching out the waist and tipping on the side plane. Hand can come down to the shin or to the earth, whatever feels good. Stacking the shoulders. Both sides of the waist engaged. Grounding down into the left big toe mound. Rotating the left thigh externally. Deep breaths. You can look up or you can let the head go. Whatever feels good in your body. Even breathing. Then bringing the awareness to the top hand. Imagine that you're pulling yourself up from the top hand. Bend into the front knee. Adjust the feet for the alignment for warrior two. Hips are neutral. Front knee is bent over front ankle. Arms to a T. Gazing point, middle finger of front hand. Easy breath. Flip the front palm and reverse the warrior in this side bend. Then cartwheel the hands down. We step back to downward facing dog. Rock forward to plank. Bring the knees down and extend the legs in front. Sitting tall out of the spine, crown to the sky. Lifting the arms up, stretching, lengthening, and then from the hip crease, folding forward over these extended legs. When you reach the end of your range of motion with a straight spine, you can slowly start to release. Bringing the hands anywhere that feels good. If it's available, you can grab the toes. Using the breath, melting, releasing. Maybe with each breath, another millimeter more you release. On an inhale, we'll slowly come up. Bring the hands behind you, just shuffle the seat to the center of the mat. And then gently release all the way down onto the back. We'll come into a bridge pose just to counteract all of that stepping forward we did. Feet are grounded into the earth, knees to the sky. Arms released by the sides of the palms, flat to the earth. And on an inhale, start to roll up from the pelvis, through the spine. The weight is on the shoulders. Breathing here. Imagining the fronts of the hips are opening, the tailbone is going towards the backs of the knees, equal weight in both feet. Maybe you can feel the connection of all the toes with the earth. Then very gently roll down through the spine. Extend the left leg long on the mat. Bring the right knee into the chest, clasping around the top of the shin. Take the left hand on the outside of the right knee. Gently pulling the right knee across to the left side of the mat for a spinal twist. Trying to keep both shoulders on the floor. Maybe looking over this right shoulder. Feels so good. And come back into the center line. Bringing both knees up. Releasing the right leg long on the mat. Hugging this left knee into the chest, clasping around the top of the shin. Then right hand to the outside of the left knee, pulling it over to the right side of the mat. Both shoulders remain glued on the floor. Maybe looking over the left shoulder. Breathing deep. And back to the center line. Bring the knees in one more time for a last little squeeze. Gently release the legs out one by one, coming into corpse pose, final relaxation. Allowing the feet to flop open, allowing the palms to go to the sky. Shoulders snuggle down the back. The back of the neck is long with the chin slightly tucked. Eyes are closed. And we'll close with a short body scan. Bringing the awareness to the toes. Then to the top of the feet. To the front of the ankles. To the heels. To the calves. Bring the awareness to the shins, to the knees, to the back of the knees, to the front of the thigh, to the back of the thigh, to the glutes, to the sacrum, to the hips, to the belly, to the navel, to the ribs, to the heart, to the back of the heart, to the space between the shoulder blades, to the sternum, to to the shoulders, to the back, to the top of the arms, to the elbows, to the top of the forearms, to the backs of the hands, to the thumbs, to the index finger, middle fingers, ring fingers, to the little fingers, to the palms of the hands, up the inside of the forearms, to the biceps, back to the shoulders. Bring the awareness to the throat, then to the back of the neck, to the jaw, to the tongue, to the face, to the nose, to the space between the eyebrows, to each eyebrow, to the eyes, to the temples, to the ears, to the scalp, to the forehead, and the space in the center of the forehead, the third eye. Then bring the awareness to the crown of the head, and then to the space above the crown of the head. Imagine from here there is a violet light. It descends all over the body, right down to the tips of the toes. Slowly this violet light descends onto the body and is absorbed into the body. Full body relaxation. Take a few breaths. And gently start to move the fingers and toes. Maybe extending the arms overhead, a full body stretch of the toes in the opposite direction. Gently bring the legs in one by one and allow yourself to fall over to your favorite side in the fetal position. With the eyes closed, slowly push up to a comfortable sleep. Bringing the hands face down on the knees, spine tall. Maybe a little smile flickers across the lips. Bring the hands to the chest in a prayer shape, thumbs pressing into the sternum. Take a deep breath in, exhale through the mouth. And I'll close class by saying thank you for practicing with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Unfortunately, the camera ran out right at the last knockings, so I've had to switch to a voiceover just to say goodbye. Thank you, and I will see you soon.